Agenda would be the deliberation on measures pertaining to the return of the June to March school calendar. We have 1, 2, 3 House bills and 1 House resolution, 2 House bills and 1 House resolution. The author of House Bill number 8550 is present here. May I call on the Honorable Castro?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, in the interest of time, may I move that the explanatory note of the bill would serve as my explanatory note, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion by the Honorable Castro that the explanatory note of House Bill number 8550 serve as its sponsorship remarks for purposes of this committee. Is there any objection? Chair none. Same is approved. House Bill 8508 is Honorable Castro.
May I also move, Mr. Chair, that the explanatory note of the House Bill 8508 and also House Resolution 940 be the sponsorship speech of Representative Ronald Singson and Representative Mercado Revilla. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion by the Honorable Castro that House Bill number 8508, authored by the Honorable Ronald V. Singson, that its explanatory note be made its sponsorship remarks for purposes of this committee meeting. Is there any objection? Hearing none, same is approved. There's also a motion by the Honorable Castro that the explanatory note of House Resolution number 940, authored by the Honorable Lani Mercado Revilla, Brian Revilla, and Ramon Jolo Revilla, be made as its sponsorship remarks for purposes of this committee meeting. Is there any objection? Hearing none, same is approved. Before we proceed with the 3 measures, may I also acknowledge the presence of the Vice Chairman of this committee, the Honorable Crispin Diego Remulla, the gentleman from the 7th District of Cavite. Also, for the lady from the 4th District of Bukidnon, the Honorable Arnie Roque is recognized, is acknowledged. With that, what is the pleasure of the members with respect to these 2 House bills and House Resolution number 940? Currently, I understand, could we ask the DepEd to give us a brief on the what we are doing now with the academic calendar? What do we expect? Yes, Director Laila.
Once again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and to everybody. I should like to inform that the Department of Education has already drafted an amendment, actually, of DepEd Order number 22 series of 2023, which actually aims to at least gradually revert. I say gradually revert to June, because if we do it now, then the number of school days is going to be it's going to be affected. In fact, I should like to inform that we're done having the consultation with relevant stakeholders, and that included Honorable Castro and Honorable Castro and the other officers of the and the TDC and some other stakeholders, Mr. Chair, were represented. Even the private schools associations were represented, teachers group, and some students. However, after that consultation, our Vice President and Secretary of the Department of Education would still wish to consult our field offices, and that includes our regional directors. We're done with our regional directors. What's happening now is the consultation among our schools division offices until schools, because of course we would also like to hear from them. So for now, Mr. Chair, the move is for us to gradually revert to June. Most likely for school year 2024-2025, we cannot do it yet for June, but the following school year, we might be able to revert to June. We already have the working document, Mr. Chair, and until 2029, we know what's going to happen. For sure, there's going to be reversion to, we'll be reverting to June.
Director Ariola, just to clarify, correct me if I did not hear it correctly. Based on your studies, on DepEd studies, it is the decision of DepEd to revert to the June to March academic calendar, but it will not be done in 1 year. it will be gradually done. How many years will it take to effectively revert to June to March? June being the beginning of the academic calendar, March is the end, obviously.
Okay. Actually, Mr. Chair, in the draft, in the working document that we prepared, you might be able to revert to June already by school year 2025-2026.
Next,
That's a year after next year, unless we're still studying, Mr. Chair, because there are groups that are also affected. Should we abruptly revert to June? For example, even the vacation days of our teachers are going to be affected. Unless there's going to be another consultation, Mr. Chair, to really find out whether our teachers will be very much willing to have their vacation days also reduced for us to be able to get back immediately to June. So these are all the repercussions.
Honorable Leighton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yung nga gusto kong itanong just one clarificatory question sa mga House bills, no? Changing the start of the school year to June. The ongoing academic year will end on around May. Pag 2025, ganun din eh. And May. Kung sisimulan po natin ang pasok ng first Monday of June, baka po hindi magkaroon ng enough time mga guro natin para magpa-prepare ng school plans for the next school year. Also baka hindi rin ang magkakaroon ng enough recovery period ang ating mga guro at mga estudyante dahil diretso na po tayo. Ano po kaya ang may tutulong natin dito sa House kung sakaling kahit paano matulungan natin sila sa ganitong mga aspekto?
Yes, or Director Laila?
That's why, Mr. Chair, that in our intent, should we revert to June, we are not really considering an abrupt.
Ang point nila, Honorable Leighton, in order for them to go back to revert to the old academic calendar, mga 2 months yung affected doon. Ang plano nila, if they do, after consultations, kasi may additional consultations sila, if they do decide to revert to the old academic calendar, hindi gagawin yun biglaan.
Yes.
Mauwi na lang 1 buwan muna, and then next year, 1 buwan ulit. Para kahit pa paano, yung vacation ng ating mga teachers, and most especially, yung mga students natin, ay hindi naman mawala completely. So if they decide after consultations with their field offices na babalik na sa June ang start, March ang end, hindi naman mangyayari agad-agad yun this academic calendar. 1 month muna adjustment. The next academic calendar, another month para mabuo nila yung buong reversion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
What about, yes, from ACT, Act?
Yes, magandang hapon, Mr. Chair, at sa ating mga sa. Tama yung nabanggit nagkaroon ng initial consultations with different stakeholders. And we agreed upon this school year, magtatapos po tayo May 31 at magsisimula yung klase natin July 29. At sabi natin, next school year, 3rd week of June, at sa susunod, 2026, magsisimula tayo first week of June. Lahat kami ay masaya doon, no? So, pero yung tanong na ni Honorable Beto, paano ang mga teachers, Beto, ano ang epekto nito sa mga teachers na mayroong 60 days? At sabi niyo rin po sa amin, ay on the table na yung pag-aamen ng DepEd Order 23 since 2003 na may kinala sa service credit at 15 days. At hindi kami natuwaan. Sabi niyo po, ay 30 to 45 days ang hilalaan dito. Kaya doon maramang pinangalandakan na namin sa aming mga social media. No? So ano po ba nangyari na doon?
Mr. Chair, I have to defer to the BHROD, to the HROD, because that's the strand that's in charge of this service credits. Of course, there might be other discussions in this.
Who is the responsible person present here?
The Undersecretary, Mr. Chair, for HROD is Undersecretary Willie Cabral. And unfortunately, he is not with us, I think, or he's not represented.
Yes, but DepEd knew that we would be talking about this issue today. So the invitation ignored by Yusek Cabral. Are you saying that?
I'm not aware of it, Mr. Chair.
An invitation, kanino natin na-send invitation, Comsec? Liaison. Yes. So, Director Laila, yung query ni Sir Vlad, pagbalik mo sa DepEd, could you submit in writing to this committee ano yung reply po ninyo doon? Because yun naman yung magiging concern ng teachers in fairness.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, that's also a consideration why we're not reverting immediately.
Okay.
Because we also want to enjoy their vacation days. But
What is the proposal again? What will happen? Ano yung proposal ninyo ano yung proposal to revert?
Yes po. Salamat, Mr. Chair. Ang discussion po, mag-agree po ang parents, mag-agree po ang PESPA at ibang mga stakeholders with USEC POA and USEC Siglingas. At doon po, nalinaw po, mga bagay-bagay. No? Kasi ayaw natin masakripisyo talaga. Yung lalo na Abriles na yung Mr. Chair, yun, lalo na tag-init. Kaya tingin namin kayang i-revert ito. At sa kanilang proposal po, ay this coming school year, July 29 po, magsisimula. Sa susunod po ay 3rd week of June. Sa susunod po, 2026 as 1st week of June. Tanong, paano ito mangyayari? May ma-apektuang 60 days na bakasyon ng mga teacher. At nag-agree kami doon na pwedeng pag-usapan natin ng DepEd Order 23 Series of 2003 na kung saan 15 days lang po ang nakalaan doon sa service credit. At sinabi doon on the table na yung 15 days nito hanggang 45. Meaning, sinalubang namin ang
for 15 days na service incentive leave, anong mangyayari?
magiging 45 daw po. Kaya kami, nag-agree kami doon with kasama ko sa TBC kasi totoo naman kailangan talaga mag-sacrifice ang mga teachers sa bakasyon. At sabi namin, sige, pwede na yung service credit.
Yes. Pag kunyari, kunyari assuming mabigay yung 45-day service credit leave, di ba? Ano ibig sabihin po nun? Para unawaan natin lahat.
Sa kabatiran po ng lahat, ang mga teacher po bawal po magkasakit eh. Ibig sabihin, kailangan namin mag-earn ng service credit at nangyayari lang yan kapag kami pumapasok pag Sabado at Linggo. Sa DepEd Order 23 Series of 2003 po, bawat taon, 15 days lang po ang maximum OCAP. Ibig sabihin, pag lumagpas ka lang 15 days, lahat ng mga servisyong bibigay mo pag Sabado at Linggo, thank you na lang po yun. At dito, sa sinasabi nga natin ito bago, pag-revert, masusobra, may kailangan talaga doon sa bakasyon ng mga teacher. At yung nabo kami
Effectively, nag-agree kayo na increase yun to 30 or 45 days, correct?
yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano naman ang effect nun ngayon sa ating mga learners? What you're saying is that okay na mag-absent ng 45 days?
No, Mr. Chair, ay ibig sabihin lamang po, yung bakasyon ng mga teacher, na hindi po, Mr. Chair, at nasa-sacrifice, yung 200, na 80 days na convertible from
Okay nga, yung 15 days, magiging 45 days mo na yun, di ba? To make up for the vacation na hindi nila nakuha, di ba? Okay naman yun. That is good for the teachers. But ang question ko sa inyo, paano naman sa learner yun? Effectively, we will allow the teacher to be absent for 45 days. So 45 days, walang magtuturo dun sa student.
Mr. Chair, hindi po ganun siya automatic na gagamitin po yung 45 days mabilisan sa service credit.
How does it work?
Ang ginagamit lang po namin, halimbawa po, mag-pasok isang linggo, kung meron po magkakasakit, hindi po namin ginagamit. Pero hindi po siya automatic na yung 45 days, assuming mag-grant, ay bibigay po agad yung 45 days.
Hindi nga, that is why, that is the point. Pero how do you say that that may sakit? Hindi ba, ikaw rin magsasabi, may sakit ka eh. Diba? So theoretically, you can say that may sakit ka na, lalampas yun ng 15 days ngayon, diba? Under the agreement. Assuming yun, ano? But then, ang question ko nga, did you ask DepEd, paano naman yung welfare ng mag-aaral? Because wala silang teacher.
Actually, Mr. Chair, hindi nga binintay namin doon sa guidelines na bibigay ng DepEd Order na bago sa pag-aamin ng DepEd Order 23.
Sige, and I hope, we will take that up in this committee, we will follow that up, but I hope that we also take when you are in discussions with them, lahat naman tayo nandito sa education because of the welfare of the learners eh. We want the 28 million learners to get quality education as required by the Constitution. Pero kung yun ang mangyayari, ang issue ko doon, paano yung learner? Kasi malaki rin yun, ha? Yes, Benjo?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. No? Una, wag po nating pagbanggian yung welfare ng teachers doon po.
Hindi ko pinagbabangga yun. Ang sinasabi ko, that is the obvious result.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ko sila pinagbabangga.
Yeah.
In fact, that is my query. What happens now, first of all, tama ka, sabi ni Vlad, sick leave lang yun, di ba?
Yes.
Assuming ngayon, how do you say that may sick leave? I mean, let's talk,
That's why I'm
Pero hindi ko pinagbabangga naman, ha? Ang query ko dito, my interest here is to ensure that we don't lose focus of the welfare of the child, the learner.
Yes, that's why I'm laying down the premise po, no. Ganito po kasi kung titignan natin historically, during the pandemic po, wag na tayong lumayo ng mahaba, alam naman po ni Dr. Ariela po, no. Noong pong school year 2022-2023, kami nabigyan lamang ng 44 days na summer break. Theoretically, summer break ang tawag dyan, but it's not actually summer. School break, technically ang tawag na ng DepEd po dito. Ngayon, medyo kulang pa rin ng kaunti. Tapos, ngayon dun sa proposal po ng DepEd, kaya naman pumalakpak din kami ni Sir Vlad at saka si Ma'am Franz was there. Ay nakuha po yung based on the proposal, nakuha po yung 59 days na summer break, quote and unquote, school break yung tawag na nga pala natin doon, 59, so that's short of 1 day. Para sa amin okay na yun, ibibigay na namin yung isang araw. Yun ng 15 days hindi na sa amin ibinigay, 16 in fact, nung last school year hindi na sa amin na ibigay ng DepEd, pero dapat po na natitignan pa rin natin ito, so ngayon po, lahat naman tayo ay gustong bumalik doon sa, we all want to revert to the old school calendar. Even the Pulse Asia survey po, 80% ng ating mga kababayan ang nagsasabi ng ganyan, so ito po yung mga kailangan nating gawain, so yung tungkol po doon, sa binabanggit na service credit, we cannot think na yung mga bata naman ay mawawalan ng mga teacher because the law, not actually, tradition, the Department of Education, hindi requirement kasi tradition, 180 lang po yung hinahabol natin, for this particular current fiscal year, 179 po, yung nakuha ng DepEd. Ang bukas po natin hanggang 220. That's the maximum, ang amin lang po, baka pwedeng pa-extend doon, yung school days, ng mga bata at kunin natin yung 180 because that's the non-negotiable for the Department of Education. At doon po titignan natin, kasi baka naman hindi ka kasing laki ng 15 kasi yun, magiging 45. Baka naman hindi kasing laki ng 30 yung service credit. At yung service credit, mukhang kailangan po natin i-operationalize, at i-rationalize din, yung pag-implement dito. Kasi tama naman po yung worry po ninyo, na baka naman, syempre, akong teacher, ay kukunin ko yung aking service credit. O kaya, tinamad ako, di ba? O kaya, nagkaroon ako ng mental health issue, so gusto ko magpahinga, and that's actually qualified, para makakuha ko ng service credit, so yun din naman po yung worry namin. Pag lahat ng teacher ay nag-declare na kami ay merong sakit ngayon, abay, walang klase, diba? So ang service credit naman po talaga, ay meron naman po talaga itong panuntunan. Hindi naman po basta-basta pwedeng hingin at hindi rin pwedeng basta-basta i-grant ng ating in fact division superintendents po. So I think sir, kaya ko sinasabi kanina na baka hindi naman po yung worry natin, baka hindi naman po siya ganun kalaki. And nandito po kami, in fact nag-usap-usap kami doon at nag-pledge din kami that we would be willing to give our sacrifice for this passage of this not necessarily bill. Well, I think with due respect to Honorable Castro and other representatives po, tingnan namin po sa aming grupo sa Teachers Dignity coalition, tingnan namin baka hindi natin kailangan ng batas. No, because we already have a law para po diyan, and then what we need is to empower the Department of Education para i-adjust, kasi adjustment lamang naman po ito ng pasok sa batas po, and even doon sa bills po na nakasalang ay binabanggit na naman doon na June 1 to last day of August, last Monday of August yung pwedeng pasukan. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maliwanag lang, In fact, nag-usap kami ni Honorable Castro about that because the existing law gives the President, through the recommendation of the Secretary of Education, flexibility to open the academic calendar anytime between June to the last day of August, di ba? So with that, we need lang yung flexibility na yun. Pwede nga natin dito House resolution lang in order for the sense lang ng House. Pero para maliwanag, ang maximum is 220 days, di ba sabi niyo? Sinabi niyo, ang minimum is 180. Tama pa rin yun? Okay. Assuming i-cut down nila to 180 academic calendar days, yung 45 days is stuck into the 180 or to the 220? Kasi kung sa 180 mo rin stuck in, yung ibibigay nila, may 45 days pa rin na mawawala within the 180. Yun yung worry ko. So effectively, 135 days na lang.
In fact, sir, that's the reason po kung bakit binabagit po ni Dr. Ariola kanina, na baka makapag-open pa tayo ng June, ang opening ay June ay 2026 pa, because that point ay factored in. Now, for this school year po, parang wala tayong magiging problema. And in fact, hanggang this current school year, going to 2024-2025, mukhang magkakaproblema po tayo doon. At yun yung hindi pa naman din nagsara, both, yung lahat ng stakeholders and the Department of Education, ay yung kailan natin isasara, yung 2024-2025, although nagkakasundo, na yung 2025-2026 ay bubuksan natin ng June. Pwedeng first week of June, pero baka tukulangin. Pwede namang last week of June. In fact, last Monday of June, laban kami. Yun yung aming pinag-uusapan po doon. So, we can maximize po yung bakasyon nang wala naman po din, na wala naman po din nasasakripisyo na learning days po.
But in any case, na pipiliin, magkakaroon pa rin ng additional Whatever, no matter how much we want to sugarcoat it, magkakaroon ng additional Yun yung point ko Yung additional na leaves na yun, which again, the teacher deserves. Pero ang point ko lang, mapabawasan yung academic days ng estudyante. Hindi ba? Hindi ba? Hindi ba yun talaga mangyayari? So, kunyari, you make it 5, it does not affect what?
It does not affect the number of school days, Mr. Chair.
It does not affect the number of school days is between 180 to 220.
Yes, po.
Tanto mo nga, pag ginawa ninyo 180, saan tinatak in yung pinad nyo? Sa 180 o sa 220? Sa 220. Sa 220 yun nakatakin. Ibig sabihin, kunyari ang i-offer ninyo is an additional 30 service incentive, service leave days. That if the 30 days is counted with the 220. So whatever happens, hindi pwede na less than 180 days na walang teacher. Kasi pwedeng may pasok pero walang teacher. And that is counted as within the 180 days. Di ba? Counted pa rin yun. Kahit walang teacher. Ang question ko, yung 180 days sa minimum, dapat may klase at dapat may teacher na naganap ang teaching.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct, Mr. Chair. I actually understand your point, Mr. Chair, because you wouldn't like a single class to be left by one teacher who files his or her leave.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what you're saying. The moment we grant more leave credits to teachers, then the more chances that our teachers also take their leaves.
Or the other way around it, Dr. Ariola, sana Honorable Castro, do you remember two committee meetings ago here? Remember, I brought up the issue kasi na-complain sa akin ito na pagka meron tayong summer camps, hindi nyo naman binibigyan ng allowance yung teacher during summer camps. I brought it up here. There's another representative here. Ang binibigay nyo lang ito, correct me if I'm wrong, lunch, at service credit. Yun ang binibigay nyo. Sinabi ko, mali yun. Kasi ang ginagawa ninyo, you are in fact encouraging na mag-absent. So, ang proposal ko sa inyo, di pa nga kayo bumabalik. Sana, bigyan nyo ng option yung teacher. Kung pwede nyo extend rin dito nga eh. Kunyari, bibigyan magsa-summer class siya, tuloy pa rin yung meals, kaya lang bigay niyo yung meals. Pero, pag hindi niya ginamit, yung additional service credit na yon dapat i-monetize ninyo. Because in that case, we are not consenting na mag-absent eh. Pero hindi natin nagtrabaho yung teacher eh. So dapat doon, bigyan natin ng option. Pwede niyang i-monetize. Yun na lang, yung service credit eh. Di ba, nag-agree tayo, sabi babalik sa atin, pero bumalik naman. Dahil ititrace namin kung sino yung DepEd official Kasi nga namin kasi I think yun yung pwede proposal even for this thing. Kung hindi nila gagamitin, i-monetize natin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Diba?
We'll communicate that to HR. Unfortunately, I come from the curriculum and teaching
But
But I'll communicate that, Mr. Chair, to HROD.
sige, nandito sila siguro. Kausap natin dito, siguro Kasi hindi ko sinasabi na i-monetize yung 15 days, Ang sinasabi ko i-monetize yung sa summer camp na binibigyan nyo ng service credit. Pag hindi ginamit,
Yes.
monetize. Ito, yung ma-affect na, ilang days na ma-affect sa inyo? 35 days, 30 days?
Parang hindi pa naman po namin
Assuming 5 days.
15 siguro.
O di, pwede na i-monetize siguro or di ba? Baka DBM lang. Parang yan, double check. Yun ang pinacheck namin nun. Hindi nga bumalik sa amin eh.
Well, check, sir, because I know that monetization is allowed, but of course, it's being governed by some policies also.
But it is also unfair. Even with all this issue na
Yes, yes.
yung tungkol dito, yung nagpapa-summer camp tayo, tapos wala naman tayong binibigay, kundi service credit ba?
Service credit, Mr. Chair, if they cannot use that, eventually when they retire, this is going to be accumulated and it will
monetize
part.
yun.
Yes, yes. Mas malaki pa ang magiging nito. So, mas mataas na ang salary nila.
30 days na namamawala sa teachers. Pwede bang gano'n rin?
Eventually, Mr. Chair, when they retire,
30 days nawawala. Parang hindi gamitin as leave. Pwede rin ba yun? Yung ikakat nyo ngayon, di ba yung academic calendar, ship natin pabalik. Pag hindi nila ginamit yung bibigyan yung extended leave na ito sa kanila, pag retire nila, additional periods sa kanila yun.
yeah, that's going to be credited as service credit.
Yes, Honorable Castro.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yung tungkol doon sa service credits na hinihiling ng ating mga teachers, kasi talaga kasi ang DepEd limit lang nila sa 15 days for the whole year ang leave credits. Although mamamonetize yan, kung hindi nila nagamit, hindi naman nagkasakit ang teacher o nagamit niya lang isa, dalawang times for the whole year, so maka-accumulate yun hanggang sa mag-retire. So, yun naman yun. So, ito yung sinasabi po nila na additional kasi ang mga government employees, mga education support personnel, meron silang 15-day na sick leave with pay, meron din silang another 15 days na parang forced leave. O pwede rin nalang i-monetize yun, Mr. Chair. Kaya lang si teacher, bawal ka na nga magkasakit during the 10-month period ng pagtuturo mo. Limited pa yung service credits na itong mga teachers natin, Mr. Chair. Napakasipag niyan mag-volunteer eh. Na for the whole year, hindi lang 15 days ang nag-gain nila. So yun naman yung sinasabi nila. Hindi naman siguro abusuhin na absent na lang na absent, i-maximize itong 15 days. Wala naman ganun kasi gusto rin ng mga teachers monetize.
Mamamonetize.
Yes, gusto rin at ito, maraming teacher talaga na talagang hindi na nila ginagamit sa service credits nila kahit nga nagkakasakit sila. May minsan pumapasok sila para lang mag-gain maano nila yung ano. So yun din yung gusto natin, ma-increase yung service credits din nila dahil natithank you na lang sila dun po sa mga
Yes,
volunteer
existing.
work. Oo, yung sa existing. Kaya siguro 30 days to 45 days na hindi dapat ilimit yung pag-gain ng service credits. Another problem, Sir Chair, sa monetization, lugi na naman ng teacher. Kasi for every 3 days ng service credit nila, equivalent to one day of monetization. So yun yung ginagawa. Check me if I'm wrong, Ma'am Laila, no? Yun yung ginagawa ninyo. Ang dami rin
Laila, tama
nagre-reklamo.
ba?
Hindi 1:1.
Sir, I'm not privy to computation.
Just
The school calendar that we talk about.
yes, yes.
I can speak of the calendar in terms of restrictions or what I can.
Ma'am, alam mo na rin yung mga karakaran na yan. So, tayo, nasa DepEd tayo, alam naman natin lahat ng hindi lang sasabihin na ito lang yung topic na gusto natin, ito lang. So, ganun din po yung nangyari. So, you take a look with that with your policy. So, kasi 3 days, imagine, lugi ang teacher 3 days equivalent to one day salary lang yan. So, ganun yung ginagawa. Kaya lugi po ang teacher talaga, Mr. Chair.
Yes, that is why, yun yung, gusto ko superintendent kayo So,
We'll take a look at the computation, Mr. Chair.
Yes, yes, Benjo?
Yes, sir. Just going back to the issue of supposed teaching overload and overtime pay, and of course service credit. Kaya naman po binibigay yung service credit po kasi walang pambayad. Ayon po sa batas, dapat babayaran po kami ng overtime, hindi po yan nagagawa for the longest time, Not until last Thursday, when the VP and the Education Secretary pronounced, na kami ay babayaran na ng teaching overload, and we're waiting, for the policy on that, hopefully ay mabilis na po ito, Pero tignan lang po natin, medyo talagang lugi talaga si teacher po dito, Kasi nga po, kung service credit yung bibigay, tama po kayo, matipid pa ako mag-absent, Pero kung bibigyan mo ko ng pera, dahil doon sa extra work, na trinabaho ko,
Mas maganda.
yeah, mas maganda at ma-motivate na ako, na magbigay ng extra na trabaho. So, yun po sana. And the existing laws po, the existing rules, so we have existing rules in the Department of Education, sir, na recognize, na pwedeng lumampas sa 15 days, pwede ang ito ni Director Oriola, at ni Yusek Densing, One, working hours, under DepEd na Memorandum 291 noong 2008 at saka DepEd Order 16 noong 2009, kapag lumampas po, doon sa kanyang sa 6 hours, regardless kahit patumagal yan, ay pwede po, mabigyan siya ng service credit na pwedeng lumampas ng 15 days. Pangalawa, NLC 2023. Sa NLC po, yung binabanggit niyo na summer camp, yung National Learning Camp, declared po yan, explicit po yan, exclusive of the 15-day limit. Pwede po yan, baka nga yun, sir, baka yun yung pwede yung tignan, baka yun yung encourage, yung director po, na hindi naman sinasadya yung pag-absent, during the school year. Kasi NLC po natin, and that's another matter, na niraise po namin, parang hindi naman dapat na nandun yan, kasi bakasyon na yung gusto ng mga bata, biglang papapasukin mo pa siya at yung teacher niya. Yung teacher naman, kung okay naman sa kanya, taganon lang siya sa community, papasok na siya to gain those service credits. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Benjo. Siguro, yung teacher career progression bill natin, I think will be taken up already. Pasado na natin dito That is where we will increase the salary grade of every teacher, including the clarity on the maximum number of teaching and promotions. Yung binigyan natin ng 2 track, yung pipili nga siya na I think soon enough we will be taking that up in the plenary na. I think malapit malapit na siya. Kaya nga papunta na tayo sa plenary. But then itong baka mamaya yung service credits should also be baka that is part of that career progression. Baka we can take a look at that para tingnan na natin. That will be taken up in plenary soon because APRO will be taking it up already. Na-advise na ako. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At isa pa pala dapat natin i-follow up, Mr. Chair, yung teaching supplies allowance. Pasado na sa Senate, pasado na natin dito. Mag-bulk up na tayo.
Yes.
Para mapasa na natin as law. Romulo law.
Pero kita yung teacher career progression. Yung teacher career progression
Yes.
Kasi salary increase. Alam ko hindi enough. Pero still, it's a beginning
Yes.
Start na.
Okay.
Soon enough na tayo sa plenary na tayo.
Okay.
Well, with that, so I think okay na tayo. Mukhang may decision na naman sila. So, can we hold in abeyance or House resolution na natin?
Ay, yung house resolution na natin, Mr. Chair. Approve na natin.
Motion na lang.
Mr. Chair, additional question lang.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, we know from our resource person, since this measure will be somehow related also sa res and DepEd order on the removal of admin tasks sa mga teachers na sila rin ang mukhang mabibigatan once magka-transition ng school calendar. Sasapat ba ang pag-hire ng mga panibagong administrative officers ng DepEd or mas madadagdagan pa ang allocation on this?
Director Ariola, are you in a position to respond?
I'm not in a position to respond, Mr. Chair, but I know very well that since this is a pronouncement of our DepEd Secretary, for sure, there were discussions, comprehensive discussions, before the DepEd order was even issued. Thank you.
Director Laila, I think we are all waiting for yung laman nung order na yon. The moment meron na. Because the point is, how many DepEd schools do we have in the whole Philippines? 47,000?
931 based on Senate inquiry.
Yeah, okay, 47,000. So, ibig sabihin, we will have a minimum of 47,000 admin. Because if we have 47,000 schools, so kailangan ng 47,000. I think that is the detail that we are waiting for. Tama ba yan, Mr. Chair? Director Ariola? Yun yung details na hinahanap lang na yun. That's what I was referring to. Because we have 47,000 schools, we have 47,000 DepEd schools. So, ibig sabihin, at minimum, we will have 47,000 number of non-teaching that we will hire. Tama ba ako? Mali ba yung calculation?
Actually, Mr. Chair, the DepEd order is already out. It's in the website.
Yes.
It's DepEd order number 2 series of 2024, and it provides some mechanisms on how our schools are going to address this.
Yes. Could you enlighten us on how it will happen? So, this year na po yan. I'll check on the effectivity, Mr. Chair. Yes, I think that is the thing that everyone is interested in. Kung kailan exactly mangyayari yung because everyone welcomes that.
Actually, Mr. Chair, there's a provision, there's a transitory provision, and it says, to ensure the smooth and effective implementation of this order, the SDO shall immediately implement the following within a period not exceeding 60 days, not exceeding 60 calendar days.
Okay.
A. Clustering strategy. Schools without existing or sufficient non-teaching personnel shall be clustered, with each cluster being composed of a maximum of 3 schools. Deploy administrative support personnel to perform administrative tasks for the clustered schools. Immediately transfer and turn over existing administrative tasks performed by teachers to school heads and non-teaching personnel, and hire additional administrative support personnel if necessary. So the regional office and schools division offices concerned shall provide schools with the necessary support during the transition period. In view of the ongoing study on the organizational structure and staffing standards, provisions that may be found inconsistent with its implementation shall be subject for further review.
Director Laila, have you read the EDCOM 2 Year 1 report?
Partly, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Did you reach the portion wherein it was stated that at present, based on DepEd nga pala, there are at least 50 administrative tasks given to teachers. 50 yun. So, I know you know that very well because galing nga pala sa inyong report na at least 50 eh. Ang pang-point ko na lang doon, could you give this committee exactly yung 50 na yun, kung ano yung task and how that will be clustered and how that will be divided amongst the 3. Kasi that is sa ika nga, the devil is in the details eh.
Yeah.
Diba? So doon natin gusto makita paano siya ma-implement.
We do that, Mr. Chair.
If Congress can do anything to help you out,
Yeah.
then that is our job as an oversight body.
I will do that, Mr. Chair. Just a personal opinion, Mr. Chair, on this 50 ancillary tasks or admin tasks. I was a high school principal for 14 years.
Yes.
And certainly at that time, we did not even have administrative support. Not all these tasks are usually done every day. These are seasonal.
Okay.
They do not really happen every day. For example, LIS, when they do the LIS, it only happens at the time when they have to register the kids.
Yes.
When you're for example, an advisor, for example, of the school paper, you don't do that every day. That's just seasonal.
Yes.
But if I may share my experience as a 14-year high school principal, Mr. Chair, my teachers before, for those who were not given special assignments, even hated me. Kasi, ang tingin nila sa sarili nila, pag wala silang special assignment, sila yung parte ng mahihina. So, I think everything's dependent on how teachers look at what you give them. Kasi noon, I don't know if time has changed, pero that was my experience as a high school principal. Galit ang mga teachers ko na walang special assignment noon, Mr. Chair. And there were no service credits promised. They just come because they just love coming. They just love it.
Ariola, tama yung sinasabi mo because based on that EDCOM 2 Year 1 report, my understanding is itong tasks na ito have been there since the Monroe survey. So early 1920s pa yun, or 1930s, sabihin na natin gano'n na time na yun. So nothing new has happened. So maybe, again, just for us also to be able to understand it better, because tama ko kayo, you put it in proper context when you said na hindi naman araw-araw gagawin lahat yun. Yung
If you're a reading coordinator, then most likely you'll be doing the consolidation of the Philippine results, the CARLA, at
Yes.
the time when it is administered, and when you administer again for the post-test. And of course, when you come together as
Yes.
to plan on what you're going to do with these learners who are not really performing well.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ed. But so, if you can submit a document to us saying na, of the tasks, ano ba talaga yung kailangan i-offload?
Yes, Mr.
Diba? Ano yung hindi naman pala kailangan i-offload because the teacher, in fact, enjoys doing that. So, totoo lang because it's also, it develops also their person, di ba?
That's giving them a lot of chances, Mr. Chair.
Kasi yung talagang kailangan i-offload. Baka naman, ilan lang pala yun, and then sufficient yung clustering so that we understand lang. I think that is the best
Yes,
for
yes,
everybody.
yes.
Thank you, Dr. Ariola. Yes. Yes, Jeff?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve a House resolution expressing the sense of the House to revert the opening of classes to June. So move, Mr. Chair.
Second, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion that we consolidate House Bill number 8508, 8550, and House Resolution number 940 into a House resolution expressing the sense of the House that the academic calendar be adjusted to the old academic calendar, meaning beginning June and ending on March. Is there any objection? Hindi, sagutin kami.
Okay. Sorry.
So, is there any objection? Chair willing none? Same is approved. Dr. Laila?
For clarification, Mr. Chair, what would be the effectivity? Will it be next year or 2025?
It's a House resolution.
Okay.
Yes. It's just express the sense.
Okay.
Oh, kayo rin talaga ang it's just a sense lang. Again, the House, the law maintains. May flexibility kayo. The President, with the recommendation of the Secretary, has the flexibility June to August. But since and that time that was adjusted because there was a pandemic. Now that we are over this pandemic, the sense of the House is we go back to the old one. Again, it is up to your discretion pagdating.
Mr. Chair, may I just manifest po.
Yes, Honor, Ben first.
Opo, kasi dun po sa lumabas after nung meeting namin sa DepEd, syempre, alam niyo naman yung mga kaibigan natin sa media, tinatanong kami ni Sir Vlad, no? Syempre, sumagot po kami. So, sinare namin yung May 31, na ending. Baka, hindi po ito kinonfirm ng DepEd, no? Maraming reports, nabasa kami, no? Na yung ACT at saka TDC ay nagsabi na ganito yung pinag-usapan, pero walang kinukumpirma, walang dinay-deny din ng DepEd. Kasi baka bandang huli, biglang sinabi nila na hindi at nagbago, baka mukha naman kaming sinungaling sa madla. Ano siguro, Mr. Chair, if it is not kumbaga well, with due respect to our honorable Leila Ariola po, no, pwede kaya kaming makuha ng assurance that what been well, ang term ko nga dyan ay consensus, no, been agreed, no, doon po sa DepEd Central, yun kaya doon yung lalabas po.
Mr. Benjo, I think klaro naman yun nabanggit kanina. Nagkaroon na sila ng discussions with Mr. Benjo, Sir Vlad, kasama si Honorable Castro and other stakeholders, including, I think, private owners. Based on those discussions, yung direction na nila was really to revert to the old. Pero they have decided that they need to also consult with their field offices. So at this point, Sir Benjo, let us give them that leeway naman. Because kung sasabihin na nila ngayon, ito yung final nila. Parang hindi pa kasi pwedeng sabihin final because hindi pa tapos yung consultations nila.
Yes, sir.
So let's give them that naman.
I understand.
That the leeway naman. Of blood, yes?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung sa akin naman po, sa kanina, sudo agree to with sama sa DepEd, bago labas yung DepEd folder na ito, memo, ay magkakaroon ta ng huling consultation with the same stakeholders, yung po yung mapag-usapan natin. Pangalawa, Mr. Chair, ay sa amin ng ay siyempre, dapat matiyak dito yung welfare ng teachers sa panahon ng bakasyon. Ilang, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And I think narinig naman po talaga na. But again, let us also wait for the end of their consultations kasi importante rin yung field offices natin because sila, di ba may consultation pa kayo with field officers di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, we're done with our consultation with our relevant stakeholders, and that includes Sir Benjo,
Vlad.
and then yes, and then Ma'am Castro.
Yes.
However, our secretary would also want to listen to our field officers, and that includes our schools division offices in our schools,
Yes.
including their relevant stakeholders din. That includes our teachers and of course
And I don't think anyone will object to that kasi dapat tama naman yun. I think you should finish all. Pero consultations po ito.
Yes.
These are consultations. Hindi naman yung hinahanap yung
approval.
It's just consultations and talagang may ano yan Iba-iba talaga ang view So at the end of the day, they will have to make their own call based on all the consultations that they made. Yes, sir. Can you please state your name? Briefly po, in the association.
Yes, good afternoon po, Mr. Chair. My name is Marcelino P. Villafuerte II from the OST Pag-asa. So I've been sitting here for about 4 hours. So I think I believe that may we respectfully present insights based on climatic information naman that we believe is relevant to the decision-making process pertaining to the honestly po, not actually. We just received.
But at least dito.
Yes.
Okay na. They will be able to consult you now.
Yes. So
Yes.
just some key points lang po, sir, pertaining to returning back to the academic calendar. We would like to congratulate again the sponsors of the House bills for passing that kind of proposal. But basically, we would just like to inform the body that of course we do have some studies pertaining to this way back in 2017 pa, and we did have some 3 key points. For instance, if we are going to return it by June to March, of course we need to prepare because more school days will now coincide with rainy season. About 60 days, June, July, that's actually a rainy season already. And then more school days with extreme rainfall events would be experienced as well by our learners and teachers as well. And then there would be possibly more tropical cyclone-related cancellation of classes because again, June, July would already be part of school days. But there are, of course, 3 positive aspects din naman po pertaining to returning back to the academic calendar, the old academic calendar that we are used to be. For example, one is fewer days with extremely hot temperature. So ito sa napakahalagang aspeto, kasi nitong mga nakaraang years ay naka-experience yung mga learners natin na kung saan may fainting and so on. And then, our graduation day will no longer coincide with rainy season. So mahalaga, masaya yung ating students na graduate na hindi sila mauulanan, hindi sila mababasa ng ulan during their graduation day. And then also, we will now have a very slim chance to be affected by a tropical cyclone again during graduation day. So congratulations po again to the sponsors of the bill, and we also agree and support the DepEd's move not to shift it immediately. So yung gradual po na shifting kasi medyo mahirap nga naman po, ano? Kasi kung consider natin currently yung 2023 to 2024 na school year, mag-e-end siya by May 31, and then immediately ba, mabuti naman at hindi agad-agad natin na mag-start kaagad yung mga bata, and then even yung teachers. Thank you very much po, Mr.
Sir Villaferte, just to clarify, ang point po ninyo, whatever academic calendar we choose, parehong may challenge yun. Either sobrang init, or yung typhoons naman na pwedeng mawala rin yung ating mga klase. That is why I think, tama kayo Mr. Villaferte, kaya napakahirap atang decision in fact for DepEd, na not counting po yung mga welfare of the learners, the children, and teachers.